He's just being consistently beaten down, and like, I come home and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like today was kind of bad, and I don't know why. Why do I feel this way? And it's like, oh, because I spent all day with people like torturing me. So for my own personal life, it's probably better when he's like in charge and kicking butt. But yeah.
I guess I have the same question for both of you too. I mean, you spent a lot of this series under other people's control, and now you're the king. So, which one do you like?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to be king unless you're the king of Gotham. That doesn't last very long, as we've noticed. But it has been fun. I think the scene 2 weeks ago in our second half of the second season, whatever, I don't know, it's so confusing. Well, when we came back, the mid-season premiere, thank you. Can you finish the rest of this answer for me? It's been a long weekend. I thought it was kind of neat how Tabitha and Butch came together because, as I thought about it, Butch has always been a loyal, partner to whether it be the Fish or the Penguin, and Tabitha was always with Gallivant, so they kind of felt weird being out on their own, and so the fact that they've come together and some of the stuff that comes up in the upcoming episodes is kind of fun. So yeah, it's fun to be king for a while, but I'm not stupid enough to think that's gonna last.
Are you gonna get any more sugar?
Any more what?
Any more sugar?
Well, stay tuned. It's pretty exciting.
All right, Drew.
Aaron, you're the best. I mean, you're so good at that, at being insane and.
Yeah.
I never know what day it is.
Yeah, like how do you? I imagine that's more fun. I imagine that's a lot more fun. But how do you get into character?
I do a lot of listening to good music. So like dark stuff, like Queens of the Stone Age. I mean, they're not that dark. I'm not talking like heavy thrash metal, but Queens of the Stone Age, we got a fan. Just stuff like that kind of has, the Drive soundtrack. Do you remember that film?
Yes.
Drive? That soundtrack is particularly good. Yeah, that's bold.
Yes, it is.
So, what was his name, the lead guy?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Weird. Barbara really likes Ryan Gosling. No one else does.
Shocked.
Yeah. What?
And I can tell you,
Sexy.
without giving anything away, Barbara's got some great stuff coming up.
Woo!
She does. Yeah, I loved your interaction while you were kind of in a coma, but with Dr. Lee, where she just came in and just
I know.
moved your face around.
Yeah. Originally that was a slam. That was going to be a slap in the face, but I don't think we did it in the end, which is a shame. I don't think we even filmed it. Yeah, she just did a grab. I think we thought a slap might have been a bit intense, but yeah, it was fun. I love playing stuff with Marina. She's so fabulous.
All right, we're on this side, right? Hi.
Hi, I'm Ariana. I don't know if you guys will be able to answer this, but when they originally cast Cameron as Jerome, did they plan him to be the Joker?
Is he the Joker?
It's definitely, I don't know, how do I answer it? Because we don't even know. I mean, many things could happen. They don't really tell us that much either. I mean, I think that was always the intention, is that we are illustrating an aspect of the Joker's origin. Now, whether or not Jerome ends up being the actual Joker, or if he inspires others to become the Joker, that's remains to be seen. But I can't say enough how much respect we all have for Cameron Monaghan, his dedication, and really just the guts that it takes to step into that role was just amazing, and he just absolutely knocked it out of the park. So,
Yeah.
And he's in Indian Hill. There was a little Easter egg in the last episode, so you never know. Shameless doesn't shoot all year round, so who knows? I don't know. Yeah.
Who likes Cameron's Joker?
Yeah!
Hey guys, I love the show, and Queens of the Stone Age is one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah.
3s and 7's fantastic song. My question is for Robin. How many different walks did you have to try out for the Penguin before finally settling on the one we see you do today?
Right. It wasn't really a different walk, but you don't, I didn't know how it would look on film. I mean, I did some research about the week leading up to it. I talked to our stunt coordinator, you know, who's well versed on bodily injury. Like, you know, he put me in the right direction. I talked to our on-set medic as well, and he told me a couple things. And then finally, like the day of the shoot, I had come in. I had been like, you know, limping around my apartment like for about, you know, for that whole week. And I come on, and our executive producer was also directing the pilot, Danny Cannon. And he was like, so what have you got? And I was like, okay. And then I showed it to him, and he was like, 30% less. And I was like, copy that. And that's what it is. So yeah, it was pretty seamless. But it was nice to have an outside eye to tell me how, you know, whether it was too big, which it was. And so that's how we landed on it. Yeah.
Cool. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. All the best to you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Were they looking for portly guys to play the Penguin?
They looked at all types, yeah. I mean, you know, it was, I mean, we were all generally the same sort of height strata, you know, like we were all like, you know, pretty short guys. But you know, like, they weren't too married to something, to a specific look. The biggest note that we got for the, well, because when we initially went in, we didn't know exactly what characters we were auditioning for. They'd written like a fake scene and all of that. But once we knew what the character was and we were coming in for the callback, for the test, they made sure to hammer it home like, this is not Danny DeVito, this is not Burgess Meredith, this is something totally different. Like, you know, with, not to say that what they did was wrong, because it was absolutely right. Like Burgess Meredith and Danny DeVito, absolute geniuses. But, you know, they were very clear about saying, no, we're telling this story, and we're not adhering to the previous incarnation. So, yeah.
Well, you knocked it out of the park.
What's that?
I said you knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
If they asked you to gain some weight and get fat, what would you say?
I would say no. I would say I already have high enough cholesterol. I would say let's invest in a fat suit. Okay.
Or you could just stay in Chicago and eat all this great food.
Copy that.
Yeah. Drew.
Hi, sir.
Hi guys, I have a question for all of you and then like a small question for Robin.
Okay.
First question is, how does it feel to play probably one of the more darker, insane villains, rogues gallery in comic history?
A privilege, definitely. I mean, I think Barbara's a little less kind of well known in terms of the characters, and I'm really glad that they took her in this dark direction. But yeah, kind of sort of touching on what Robin said earlier, like to play the darker, kind of more, I don't know, animalistic, in control versions of these characters for me is where the real kind of joy lies, because you do feel like this kind of energy that then translates right through to the end of your day where you want to go out and have a lovely time because you're just like really pumped up. So yeah, I just feel really, really lucky is how I feel.
Does it ever, I just want to follow up, does it ever surprise you how it comes out? You know what I mean? Do you kind of know what it's going to look like when you deliver a line, or are you surprised by what comes out?
When I see it on the screen afterwards, you mean?
No, like
or
just
like
in the
moment.
moments.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I try not to plan too much how a line's gonna come out. I've done comedy before in my career. I was in a show before Gotham that was a comedy show, and that to me takes a lot more planning. Like, I don't know, have you guys done comedy yet?
Yeah,
Comedy, yeah. You kind of you're sort of crafting a little bit more there because it's about timing and stuff. But when you do this kind of work where it's all a bit more about reacting in the moment to the other person, I mean, comedy is that as well, obviously, but it feels like I let go of any previous decisions that I make and sort of trust the instincts of the moment and the character.
And we're so fortunate to have an amazing cast, because you don't want to come to work with this preconceived idea about whomever you're in a scene with, because, you know, I come in and I work with Aaron, I work with Drew, I work with Ben, Corey, all of these people, and they bring surprising, like their line readings are so singular. It's only something that Aaron could bring to it. And I would be doing a huge disservice if I came in being like, I know exactly what I'm going to say because I want Erin to surprise me because then my performance is based off of what she just said and what Drew just said and all, you know. So, yeah.
Those are magic moments when you kind of, we've had them numerous times throughout the series where there's just a little moment of magic where like, oh yeah, that's what that scene is. And usually we have a read through and then we kind of work it and by the time, you know, oftentimes if we're doing it right, we get to a place where it's like, that's the one, that's where it feels right. And it's great when it's not, like you say, pre-planned or maybe we have preconceived notions that we let it kind of live in the moment. And that happens a lot on the show.
Yeah, I was going to say we're really lucky to have some amazing directors that kind of aid that as well. We had this fantastic woman director called Larissa on the last thing me and Drew did together, and she just came in and she looked at the scene and she was like, oh, I think we should do it like this, which was totally different to how I'd imagined it happening, and it just worked, so it's really special when that happens.
To bring it back to the question, again, what Erin said, an absolute privilege. To be able to show, these characters have been around for so long, 75, 6 years, to be able to show parts of them that people don't necessarily know unless they've delved into the comic books, which, you know, isn't the majority of the audience, it's just an absolute dream. And then also the pressure is off because, again, we're showing Penguin, in my case, at a point in his life that, you know, was never explored by Burgess Meredith or Danny DeVito. So it's like we can all put our own personal spins on his, you know, iconic character.
Looks like we have a little surprise.
If I can make an announcement, because I know this is like the villains panel. I'm Laura with Walker Stalker Con and Heroes and Villains Con. So anyway, I want to say something because I love Gotham, and this show has turned me into a fan of the villains because I am Team Penguin. I love my crazy ex-girlfriend, and then this guy. You know, his demeanor is so bad and so mean, but honestly, he's very sweet.
Don't believe it.
And because he's so sweet. Now, did you have a birthday recently?
In January.
You know, we missed celebrating his birthday because we had a little snowstorm on the East Coast. So what we're going to do is you all get the opportunity to celebrate Drew's birthday with us today. So we've got a special little surprise for you, and we want all of you to sing happy birthday to Drew.
You my boy, Drew.
You make it happy
Birthday to Drew. Happy birthday, dear Drew. Happy birthday to you. Yes.
Thanks, you guys. It's good. Thanks, guys. That's very sweet. 21 years old.